We're here at Summer CPL 2004, and we're here with a member of MIBR. Pred, go ahead and introduce yourself to the community.
I'm Rafa Veloso. I play for MIBR. My nickname is Pred.
You guys had an interesting run at the ES World Cup. You were pretty popular in Brazil, and you're one of the better teams. I mean, top 5 ranking in the world. But yet again, ES World Cup was not your best event. You know, what really happened there, and how did you feel about the event itself?
Well, first of all, I think the computers weren't so good.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think that didn't make us do nothing there. But and I don't know, we saw our mistakes there. Like it's not really the 6-man rotation and
Mm-hmm.
nothing like that. It's mostly like, I don't know, like the players they weren't like so good. So we're like making it better now.
So you went back, reevaluate what you're doing, and you guys seem to really focus on boot camp. You guys got a chance to boot camp with NOA, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And got a chance to work on some bunch of stuff. What was the primary focus of boot camp, and what were you guys looking to do with NOA there?
Well, we just try to practice as most as we can, and when we're not practicing, we have to like focus more on our, I don't know, like how we think about CS and what, I don't know, like our relationship with each other in the team. That's what we've been focusing more on.
You guys had a roster change leading up. I think the main focus of most people, or the people that seem to think you guys had a little trouble with the 6-man rotation at ES World Cup. Why don't you explain what happened and the reason for bringing Kogu back in as a full-time player?
Well, we saw in the games that Kogu was like, he had to be a main player, and we thought like Coraça was a bit, I don't know, he wasn't playing what he knows how to play. So now we're like sticking with 5 men, and Coraça is gonna try to get back and maybe do the 6 men again. I don't know.
When you look at that kind of a switch as close to the event as ES World Cup was, do you feel a little uncomfortable about making that kind of a switch, or do you feel like he's just going to step right in and play well for you guys?
Yeah, we're confident of him.
And the G3X he came over from, what kind of a decision was it for you guys to go ahead and pick him up? How did you feel about that, and what made you decide to go grab him?
How do you feel about G3X?
No, how do you feel about picking up Kogu? Why did you decide to pick him up?
Well, he wasn't feeling so good in G3X, and he told us, and like he asked if there was any chance like for him to be in MIBR, so we like had a little meeting, and we just decided to put him since we know how to play.
You know, South American teams, you guys really pioneered that front. You know, one of the first teams from South America to come in. There's 5 teams now from South America in this event. You've got, from all over, I think at least 3 countries or 4 countries represented here from South America.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about all that, and what do you think, of MIBR almost pioneering that?
Yeah, that's great. Since, I don't know, we kind of started it, yeah. So I think South America CS is like growing really fast now, and I hope that the teams can get better with that.
What do you think of the local tournaments there? The Latin Cup, for example, really played well for you guys. You had a little bit of a tournament there, but how is the community growing, and how do you think it's going to continue to develop?
Well, I think like the Brazilian community is like the biggest now. I don't know, but I think it is. But I think it had to be more serious. Like they don't take just so seriously like we do, or I don't know. So I think that's what had to happen to make it grow faster and faster.
Looking at other teams that are here at CPL, what do you think of their chances, such as DIN, for example, from Peru? You've got the Punta CL from Chile. A few other teams. What do you think of their chances? And obviously, are you going to be rooting for them?
Yeah, well, I think I don't really know since I haven't been following them, but they all have like extremely good aim, but they need to focus more on like team play and stuff. So I think they can do they can surprise something here.
Of those teams, is there any that you got a chance to practice against and maybe know pretty well?
Adriana.
Okay.
Yeah, we boot camped them, and they're pretty good. I think they can do something here.
And they're one of the other Brazilian teams here, along with G3X and yourself, correct?
Yeah. Well, we haven't played G3X. I don't know why. They just don't want to play us.
Is there a little animosity there between you guys?
Yeah, I think not between us, but I think
Yeah.
because of them. Actually, I don't know why they just don't like playing us. So we can't do
Obviously,
anything.
Kogu didn't help joining you guys though, but yeah, just a little bit of a roster change, picking up a guy. Again, at ES World Cup, you guys played really well in that opening pool, and then came back and didn't do so well in the next group. Do you think it's going to be important to play consistently throughout this entire tournament, and how do you think you're going to accomplish that?
Well, it was the first time that happened in ESWC, so now we're like focused on that. I think we're pretty well prepared for that.
Practice-wise, how do you feel about this tournament? Do you feel better about this tournament than you did ES World Cup? I mean, hopefully you would, but do you think that you are more prepared for all of the maps you're going to have to face? Because at ES World Cup, you only had 3 maps that you could play. In this event, you're going to have a whole wide range. Do you think that's going to help, hurt you guys?
Yeah, I think that's going to help since our best maps, they are now here.
They weren't at the ES World Cup.
ESWC. So I think that's going to help us a lot.
What maps were those?
Cabo, and it's going to be on the lower bracket, but I don't know. We just feel good about being Cabo there.
Well, speaking of Cabo, you brought it up. Do you guys have any little things still with 3D? I mean, it's been a while, but do you guys have anything with those guys? And what do you think of, WCG was quite a big deal, and what do you think about the American community's perception down in Brazil after all that?
Yeah, I think I don't really care about that. Never.
Yeah.
But I forgot about it. I think mibr forgot about it since we talked to some 3D guys, and I think it's all fine. And the community, I don't know. It started a bit of a war because of this.
Yeah.
But I always thought that was ridiculous.
But it's definitely something that if you guys faced 3D here, you would the community would definitely latch onto it. You guys may not, but the community would definitely be behind
of course,
it. Yeah.
they would.
Is there anything else that you'd like to comment? Is there any other comments you had about the tournament itself? And how did you think of what you've seen so far here at the resort that they've switched to this year? Yeah,
the resort is I think it's much better than the last one. It's much bigger as well, and the tournament's looking very good so far.
Did you get a chance to check out that river that runs through the place? Did you see that?
No, not yet.
It's pretty crazy right there. Go ahead and I obviously see NVIDIA, but do you have any other sponsors that you've got?
Yeah, we got NVIDIA, Shuttle, and DBA. I want to thank all 3 of them.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, you guys have some really good sponsorship, but everybody seems to, there's those rumors of what you guys have for budget being maybe one of the best in the world, especially being able to fly those teams down. How important is that to you guys?
I think that's what makes us grow, actually, because we have a chance to go anywhere we want to boot camp with any team. So that's what I think it's the most important in mibr.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us.
Okay, thanks, Midway.
Yep, no problem.